I guess for those of you tuning in, if you don't know us.
Now you know. Are we actually starting?
Just swing on down, and stop. You know what I'm saying? So he could get on. Now this is what we doing. We playing the role of that sweet cherry, and we swinging down to pick you up.
What's up, everybody? Another episode of the Banter Zone. I'm here with my boy.
What's happening, Terry? Anyways, what's going down? What do we got?
Lots, man. It was kind of like this weekend was a bit crazy. On the Canada front, there was lots going on, lots to follow.
Yeah.
There was 3 big games to watch.
Couple heartaches, but hey, I guess we'll get to that point later on.
Yeah, one of those heartaches was definitely us.
Sucked.
And you know, I expected better. Might as well just talk right about it right away.
But do you want to go into the Derby?
Yeah, might as well. So the Manchester Derby. Really, the only thing I could say out of that game without like getting angry because I screamed at my TV enough on the weekend was really that City just outclassed us.
Yeah,
they're just a different.
Especially
class.
with that third goal, it hurt.
It hurts.
I was like,
they're
kidding me right now.
They're a different class, man. They're just a different class.
I switched over the Wolves Arsenal game.
And so did I.
That's true because they're both sitting each other's sides. Done with this team. We give up.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Nothing came.
Miz and Pogba was a big. It's like there was no direction in the midfield. Herrera looked lost. Pogba normally is that calm in the middle there, and he's good at that transition. But we didn't have that. His
starters were not the right picks.
No, I mean Pogba was injured. Alexis came on late, which I found kind of weird. Rashford, okay, Martial missed a couple chances. Typical.
And they were good. They were big chances.
Yeah, I mean, really, besides that, City is just... You cannot say there's that argument going on right now. Is Manchester red or blue? You know, Manchester will never stop being red until City can win more than a couple titles. Because United has, right now, currently, in its state right now, Manchester is blue, like this much.
Yeah.
But historically... You're not even
Manchester's going through like a little bit of puberty. They're like, ooh, look at that. What's that? Okay,
yeah, like they're young.
Manhood kicks in, and then you're going to realize it's red.
Exactly.
So,
because the reality is, it'll never be blue until something major happens, and that's you can't. You know, you got to add a few years of history before that even comes close.
Yeah. Another cool thing, we did a video before the game. If you actually caught that and saw that, we did a simulation game and. Saw how that game went down on the simulator, and then we decided we were going to predict the scores.
Yeah, and you predicted 2-0, so you were the closer one.
Yeah,
I predicted 2-1 for United. Now, Dylan predicted 2-2 draw.
Correct.
So none of us were there.
I'm going to say I was the closest.
You were. It was a 2-goal difference, and you picked the right person.
Yeah, it was crazy. Pissed off. Didn't like that game, but hey, let's get over it. I'm done talking about that shit.
This one's kind of big in South America. I mean, big historically too. El Superclasico, Boca Juniors and River Plate from Argentina. So it's a massive rivalry.
You know what? I'm just gonna let you talk about this one because I've tried to like roll these teams off my tongue, and it just sounds really
too
bad.
hard. It just goes. Like this.
Yeah, it's like the wrong accent that comes out.
It's just like, even though it may start like the first couple words come out Spanish, and then it just like easily flows right into brown, the other brown. So River Plate, Boca Juniors. The game was pretty crazy, intense, exactly what you expected out of this rivalry. Ended up a draw in the end, but no River fans allowed in the stadium.
Why is that again?
Just because it's just too crazy, and then they'll end up fighting, and then the game will have to stop, because that's what they do in Argentina.
You don't think people are going to walk in like Soup Spider-Man?
No, never, man. No, because the problem is that happens, and then in places like that, you're surrounded by guys in blue, and then you just get the shit kicked out of you. You're stabbed.
You just lost your churro. No.
Yeah. A little worse than that. They stabbed you. and the crowd of people, and the cops can't get to you.
I love it.
And then the same thing will happen going the other way, where they'll play in the next game. The second leg will be in River Plate, at River Plate's home. So it'll be crazy the other way. So you get to see both sides of it. And this is like 105 years in the making. For Copa Libertadores, they've never played against each other in a final, and
it's about to happen.
It's one of the biggest rivalries, right? So
please, somebody crazy. Spider-Man this. go in there with a different jersey underneath.
That's a funny thing. Like Argentina, they had the guys from Copa were there, and they were doing a bunch of videos of filming. It's just absolute madness. They're driving down the streets, and it sounds like guns are going off, but it's like fireworks and flares and smoke everywhere. Buses full of smoke and shit.
I love it.
It's so crazy. But that's that passion. That's that level that you see in those places. I mean, it's kind of unmatched, really. You see in the UK, obviously Europe and stuff, but that's something that
It's completely different.
we need to see that in North America, like the rowdy. Like it's never gonna happen here.
Okay, we're Canadians. We're gonna be like, oh, sorry. Did I hurt your eardrums there?
Yeah, sorry, was I chanting too loud? I mean, a lot of vigorous clapping at games.
Maybe lots of poutines and.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, it actually does in a Caesar. But,
couple other games from this weekend. I mean, they're Klassiker, but we'll let Dylan get into that, so we won't even touch on that yet.
Yeah,
we'll let him go to that when we send over to the Bundesliga report, because that kid is buzzing right now from that game.
Yeah, he is. Calm down.
Yeah.
Bring it down a few notches.
Kind of like what Chelsea did. Chelsea-Everton drew 0-0. What a barn burner that one was. And then Barcelona lose 4-3 to Real Betis.
The greatest thing there was.
Wow.
I was reading like headlines and I was like, Barca will lose us. Barca sucks.
Like,
well, that was my headline.
Yeah, that's the headline in our world. Barca sucks. Rakitic 2 yellows gets a red card. Vidal with a goal, which is nice, and then he set up one of Messi's goals, and then Messi goal with the penalty. But they lose to Real Betis, so it's crazy to see that.
Yeah. I'm okay with that, though.
Yeah, go over to the Scottish League. This one was kind of big if you're a Rangers supporter.
Every Rangers supporter out there is already knowing what the outcome of this is. And number 2, it is the Rangers. There's only 2 big teams in that league.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
the Celtics are the Rangers, but
I thought it was still like, because Rangers, after they got relegated because of all the financial troubles they went through and all the illegal stuff they did.
they just didn't sell enough Haggis.
But no, they were doing it illegally. That's the problem. But they worked their way back up, and they were crap for a while. Like there was 2 years, I think it was. But now now you see the form again. 7-1. Scotty Arfield, Canadian.
But come on, you got to think about it. Look at the other keeper. The other keeper did not look sharp at all.
No, like a couple of the goals, it looks like he just gave up. He just watched them go in the net a couple of times. So, but yeah, Scott Arfield, the Canadian, 2 goals in this game again. So. Good to see that kid in fine form now that Canada's stepping in and making a turn here.
Yeah, so it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see what happens and if he does come up or if it's already almost written in stone. But I guess we'll see that.
Yeah. This one was a big one too. The Juve AC Milan game.
Oh my god, I could not believe this outcome.
The best part of this game was I only watched a little bit of it because I don't really like watching Italian football that much. But
No.
I was watching a bit just because I still was in the mood to watch proper football after watching United get walked through. Higuain, you can see his frustration, and there was all those talks after Ronaldo got brought in, the Juve, that he got put on the back burner, obviously, because you're
of course he did.
You're Higuain, that's Ronaldo. A different class there. Ronaldo scores goals, improving this game. He had a penalty.
You definitely saw. Well, what am I looking for? They're 2 different groups.
Yeah, like Chesney read it well, and they knew each other because he obviously playing for Real Madrid together, so they knew each other, and he went up and was joking around with him right before the penalty, and then he goes and puts it right to where Chesney dove and off the post and out, and then later on in the game you can just see him stewing and getting frustrated and more frustrated. Gets a yellow card for a tackle, goes up and starts screaming at the ref.
Okay, but that does suck in this sport. It does suck because you're trying to be cool as a cucumber throughout the whole game. Doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't matter if you're taking a bad tackle, you get a bad tackle. But with the frustration sets in, you cannot brush that off.
Yeah, and then the fact that you're playing against Juventus, a team that you just got put the second fiddle, that just had to that was turning the knife in the wound.
Yeah.
And then Ronaldo going and scoring. That's another one.
It's like the straw that broke the donkey's back.
Oh, yeah. Well, Higuain is a donkey. And he got red carded and kicked out of the game. And then Ronaldo ends up being the star. There's a reason why you were on the bench.
Yeah.
And then got traded. But 2-0 there. Juve dominant. Still, they are going to.
They're saying good. They haven't lost the game, have they?
No, I don't think so yet. Maybe unless it was early, but I haven't. To be honest, I haven't really paid attention that closely. If they have, I know they've drawn a couple.
Yeah, but I don't think they've actually lost.
No. Did you? Here's a question. Does Juve have what it takes to win the Champions League?
No.
They've always been okay. Never mind.
What kind of question is that? Yeah, they can shine in every
Yeah, but
other
look
light,
right now though. Look at Bayern, not as that hot. Real Madrid, not that hot. Barcelona, not that hot. PSG's winning every game in their league, and then they go to Champions and they can't do shit either. So who does that leave? I mean, City is the one team we don't want to talk about, but they're the team that I would say has the best chance.
Come on, they
But that's one game. Juve versus
no,
City in a
Juve
final.
Juve just has no opportunity. They have no chance of winning that at all.
I think better now than they did a while ago. Though, to be
Because
honest.
of what? Ronaldo?
Yeah. Were you just trying to draw out that point? Is that what you're getting at? Yeah. If you didn't know, Harry loves Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's one of my heroes. He really is.
And
Beckham, of course.
Beckham's up there for me for sure.
Sorry, just throw this out there. So supposedly Beckham's team down in the U.S. Things are coming along. He's supposed to be building this huge sports complex.
Miami,
in Miami, yeah. So it's actually on top. They're tearing apart a golf course to build this, but it's supposed to have like a hotel, the full pitch. It's supposed to have like everything else. So it's gonna be this massive thing. I don't know. This guy, of course, has a lot of investors, a lot of money, but he will change the face of MLS in a sense.
We'll continue because he was the reason it changed when he came over in 2007. That's when it blew up, right? And then MLS was kind of growing, and that's what brought it international attention. Because realistically, it's just like, look at the CPL right now. For us to think that the CPL is going to be anything big right now is ridiculous. With the age of media that we're in, it's going to be faster, and everything's going to progress quicker.
And it's going to be cleaner than MLS, I can guarantee it.
That's what I said. That's why I honestly, like we talked about many times before, but I honestly think within 3 to 5 years, we'll be competing with MLS.
Yeah.
We'll be going into those championships, the CONCACAF Champions League games, and we'll be competing against the U.S. and then hopefully against some of the Mexican teams. But I mean,
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and then you know what? Let's let Dylan talk. Dylan had a. You'll see the video, but it was a.
He was lit for this.
Yeah, pretty much. He was messaging me the whole time, like, losing it. I was like, I don't want to get too excited for you because I know tomorrow you're just going to be like, oh, it sucks, United. Sorry to hear that. Shut up.
Yeah, save it.
Go to Dylan.
Über die rechte Seite. Paco Alcázar. Alcázar. Ja! Ja! Wir führen! 3-2! Paco Alcázar! Das ist so geil! Ich drehe hier durch! So wie das ganze Stadion!
Now put aside the fact that you all know I'm a Borussia Dortmund fan. But if you don't get shivers watching that clip, you are not a true football fan. Never mind the Bundesliga, just football. What an incredible moment. That was Deutsche Pokal goal scorer Norbert Dickel with the call, aka Nobby. He's famous around Dortmund. He's been the in-stadium announcer and part of the commentary team since he had to retire due to his knee injuries. And my goodness, you can hear the absolute raw passion in his voice. Welcome to the Bundesliga Report here on the Banter Zone. I'm Dylan Dodge. I'm going to keep this brief because my head is still spinning from that game. Just kidding, I have a bad case of the vertigo. Social media around the world was buzzing after that game. It's been one of the best matchups between these two teams, arguably, since the 2013 Champions League final at Wembley Stadium, or some of the early Tuchel versus Guardiola matchups. It's been talked about everywhere by all people around the world. It outplayed and overshadowed Milan versus Juve, Boca Juniors versus River Plate. Like, there is nothing that happened in this past week that could compare to that game. And that's not to take away from the other games. It was just, this is going to go down as one of those games that people will remember if they are a fan of German football, if they're a fan of Dortmund, or, regretfully, if they're a fan of Bayern München. I got on the phones immediately after I finished watching the game, texting some of my friends over in Deutschland, some of which are Bayern fans, and some of which are fans of teams that aren't even playing. My buddy Karsten Kloch had this to say about the game, and he's a Mainz fan. He's not even involved in this contest directly, but I do agree with Karsten that they need to keep focused on performance now. They've gotten that big win. They've gotten over the hurdle of Bayern München, but Mönchengladbach is still hot on their heels, and they need to keep putting in performances because there's still like 23 match days left. Other notable games from match day 11 to hit on before we move on. Eintracht Frankfurt won 3-0 over Schalke, and Hertha Berlin lose another game. They're in abysmal form right now since their hot start, dropping 4-1 to Fortuna Düsseldorf, who find themselves in a relegation battle. There will not be a Bundesliga game for a while now due to the international break. I cannot wait to report back to you that Germany loses to Russia and the Netherlands. But when the Bundesliga does return, my recommendation to you is to tune into the Hertha Berlin TSG Hoffenheim game. Now, as mentioned before, Berlin got off to a hot start led by former leading goal scorer Duda. But since their last 5 games, they've drawn 3 and lost 2. And meanwhile, Hoffenheim is still in flying form, winning 4 of their last 5 Bundesliga games. So it'll be interesting to see if Hertha Berlin can stop Hoffenheim's good run of form and end at the same time their bad run of form. Both are in the top end of the table, with Berlin sitting in 8th, only 3 points behind Hoffenheim, who sit in 6th. Anyway, that concludes the Bundesliga report. Back to you, Simon and Harry.
Hearing an announcer talk like that does give you chills, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of does. But the only thing that, really actually makes me laugh about it is the fact that announcers like that normally come from the Mexican League.
Yeah, when they're that crazy, that's true, though. Yeah, when they're that, nuts and wound up.
Fall off the chair. Go. Fall over the railing.
Go. They do that long, super
God.
drawn out. Yeah, that's true, though. It is true.
That's hilarious. I love it. I definitely love it.
So thank you, Dylan. Yeah, good on you. It looks like that as long as Dortmund stays informed, there's a chance that they can finally knock off the Giants off that, because they've been standing on quite the podium. 6 years, I believe it was, that he said, that they were in consecutively winning. So unreal. Let's go over to some Canada stuff.
There's a lot going on.
Canada.
There's so much. It's like a slap in the face by Ribery.
Oh yeah. Do you want to throw that out there? There's rumors going around. Okay.
So there's a bit of rumors going around. We kind of did look into it to see if we could find some. Well, we actually wanted to see the video of him slapping somebody.
But there's a lot of videos of Ribery.
He likes to slap people.
Compilation on YouTube of Frank Ribery slapping people.
Oh, which is hilarious. But supposedly, since they lost that game, they conceded 2 goals. He actually slapped a reporter because the reporter called him out and said it was your fault.
That's awesome. And wasn't the reporter like an ex-footballer or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he called him out. Ribery, he's a guy you don't want to hold train face. You don't want to. You don't want to piss him off. He's crazy.
He didn't even actually have to dress up for Halloween this year.
No, that's mean. I just called him train face, and then you tell him he is ugly though.
Don't hang out under any bridges. Anyways,
Canada again.
Let's come back home. Back home. Here.
Back home to where the nice people are, and stop being mean. So lots of things in the CPL. The trials wrapped up in Van Isle.
Yes.
And then
another big turnout there as well. So. Good to see. I'm glad people actually went out. I do understand a few people were out for their 2nd, 3rd, or 4th tryout as well.
Yeah.
That's dedication. Good on you.
Yeah, traveling,
there's always that opportunity to get that 2nd, 3rd look.
Yeah, because you never know. Maybe you had an off day and you needed it again the next day. But maybe there's some people that shouldn't be doing that as well in that mix. Because there's always that balance, right? You're going to have those players that should be at a trial. And then there's players that you're like, why are you even here? It's bad to say, but it's a reality. There's going to be guys that show up that should not be trying out for pro soccer.
That upsets me. I'm glad they do
Harry.
it.
Harry got rejected.
Well, that's the thing. You can get rejected so much. It was like walking through the mall and saying, hey, girl. And the next thing you know, she's like, no.
Yeah, but at some point in time, do you just
give up and you go to the friend? So that team just went to the next team.
Yeah, but You know what I mean, though? Like, maybe you're just not cut out to be a pro footballer. Maybe you're going to be a pro football announcer. Or you're going to do stupid shows on YouTube.
I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
Proud of it. Okay, where were we? Sorry.
So the trials wrapped up there, like Harry said, good turnouts. And then there was so they went from the island back to mainland, lower mainland Vancouver.
Yeah.
For the
there is so
U
much.
Sport, tons of stuff, man. The U Sport Men's Championship. So I got to pull up some more info here because we got lots to do with that. But, well, let's just talk about the wrap up of that weekend because there was a lot there.
Oh, there was a ton going on.
So with the men's final ended up Cape Breton, the Capers versus the Carabins de l'Université de Montréal.
All
Carabins
I got
finished
were
first.
capers and poutine.
Sometimes I talk French. That just sounds like junk or Jen. But yeah, Carabins won at Montreal in extra time 2-1. Pretty good game it looked like. Everything was online live streamed.
Correct.
And then the guys from BC, a couple familiar voices. I think they were the AFTN guys. But great commentators. Third place was from Carleton University in Ottawa, the Ravens, the Spartans from Trinity Western fourth, and then Citadins from Montreal
Yeah,
fifth.
which isn't too bad. Few players we picked at, some players that were looked at more intensely than before. So
Yeah, and then there was
as
those
well.
players now, because of this is what this draft kind of does, is there was those players that because of they don't not stepping on anybody's toes, the CPL was like, we're not going to look at these university players until their seasons are wrapped up.
Correct.
Hence why the draft is going on probably in a pub somewhere. No,
Right
I don't
now.
know. That's why it's closed
It's
doors.
behind
That's why
closed doors
you know
somewhere.
why? Because they're probably sitting at a pub smashing beers and picking players.
it's like a challenge.
So
I
they're
dare
like
you take
behind
this
closed
player.
doors.
What if I don't? You get 2 shots. Why aren't I invited to this?
But
Jeez.
yeah, so that draft was going on before we get into the picks. So
Yeah, Kurt Larson.
Cart Larson. Somebody made that mistake on Twitter. There was a tweet that they messed up his name. It was like it was on his badge. It was wrong at the
Kurt's
last
such a nice
round.
guy.
Yeah,
There's
he's
guys
awesome.
like we just go mess it up. One of the easiest names out there.
Yeah, Kurt Larson. It was
Oh.
like, yeah, I can't even remember what it was, but there was all the comments of what his name should be now. But so top 10 list of players that were standouts
Correct.
at the U Sport Men's Championship Finals in BC. And I don't think it was in any particular order.
No, I think you were just thrown up there just in context of seeing the players.
So looking at the names, there was a couple guys, like a guy from Guelph, Jace Katsopoulos, Thomas Gardner to UBC from North Van, Gabriel Bitar from Carleton from Ottawa. He was Rookie of the Year in 2017.
He'd probably wish Ottawa had a team as well so he can actually shine. But
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? That's why he's leaving. And then Gatineau, which is pretty close to Ottawa as well, if I'm not mistaken. This is Carleton. See, I know I messed up. Larson. Wow, Stefan Karajovanovic.
Anyways, to the next guy.
You never know what those are. They ends in a k or a ch. Anyways, sleeper pick, potentially most underrated
Player
in the draft. Daniel
Good
Gogarty
German here.
from Daniel Gogarty from York, Scarborough, Ontario, left-sided center back. And then here's a couple interesting ones. So from Cape Breton, Peter Schall.
Peter something.
German.
He's a German
It's a
boy.
German end. It's AALE, Noah Santiago or whatever the thing above the A. But anyways, he's from Germany. 6'3" center back, arguably the most dominant defender during the U Sport Champions.
Yeah, and then an English boy.
Corey Bent from Preston, full of pace. Bent was one of the most electrifying players on the weekend's U Sport Championships.
Which is huge.
And
A
then-
French boy.
Yeah, Andre Bona from Marseille garnered interest from multiple CPL scouts
Originally an African child.
like most of you. I know you were Africa before, but you were somewhere before. You just
Scrolling,
like,
okay?
You just went with Africa. So you're like, okay, we'll go, get on the boat. Okay. But why do we get in this? It always goes racial. Morocco. This is another guy here. Omar Kraim.
Where's this kid
Montreal.
from?
Casablanca.
Casablanca. That was a good movie.
That was a good movie, actually. And then a good old Alberta boy here. FC Edmonton prospect, the guy we had the pleasure of watching play for Foothills FC, Noah Cunningham. Defender, solid. It's weird to see him because he's super aggressive on the field, but he's actually really nice.
That's good to see. You know, he's an Alberta boy as well. He's close to home.
Need those Alberta boys.
Yeah.
But obviously, based on that, the coaches are now meeting as we speak, or did earlier today, about the draft. And pick number 1 went to
Calgary.
Cavs. Pick number 1. Valor FC second, Forge FC
York
3.
9.
And then Halifax Pacific and
Edmonton is last place. I just want to point this out to every single Edmonton Oilers fan out there. Yes, you get the first pick in every NHL draft there is because you guys always with all the commissioners and you purposely suck. But here it is this time. Calgary gets first pick, and let's see how well.
So does that mean maybe they'll have a chance? Maybe is Edmonton going to have a team finally that's actually good in the relevant era? No.
I was like trying to figure out. I was like,
just kidding. I can't talk too much because I know some of the guys on that team and there's some pretty good players. But still, Edmonton, you suck. A lot of interviews and stuff going on with some of the coaches and stuff and the players there.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
And then there was the watch list for all the players all over the place that came. But some of the notables that came out. And there's some guys that stand out and there's some guys that you don't really you just know nothing about. But do you care to take a crack at that name?
Yeah. That was an actual pause. Kazurutu Okamoto.
Kazutero Okamoto. Close enough. But number 1 in number 1 in agility, number 10 in shot velocity in the city.
It's not a bad thing at all.
So pretty good rankings. And there's another one. Hayahide Abe. Also ranked pretty high with everything. He's got pretty good jumping ability, 40. This guy was ranked 20th. Aligendo. This is Japanese. This is like 5 here.
Kazushiro
Hamaguchi, and then Wataru.
I would just call him Tamagotchi when he gets signed.
Look at this guy too. Tetsuya Yoshinaga, Sidra Vukic. That's not a Canadian name. And Devin Austin, yeah. So these are.
Oh, there was a guy. If we can pronounce that guy's name.
Yeah. Wait, there's one here.
This is insane. But this honestly does tell you that doesn't matter where you are from around the world, and even if you become a Canadian citizen or you're born and raised in Canada because your parents migrated here, you just actually really see the talent and where the talent pool is coming from.
Like Alberta, Dimitri Nesson from Belgium, number 5 in agility, number 12 overall.
Which
so
is
that's
insane.
out of however many people. I can't remember what the number was, like 1,400 or 1,500 total.
Still, you look at it, that's an insane number.
Pretty well. 1,400 participants total, but Lloyd Koime was pretty good. Mustafara, Minjay Kwok, Nick Moon. I got to see him travel to Edmonton with.
Did we see Nick Moon down in Calgary for the tryouts? No,
he was here. Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
These are the Alberta
Yeah,
ones.
that's right.
And
That's
then
right.
he was. So he ranked 3rd in the city for fitness. Agility, he was 5th overall, man, and he's a defender.
And he's a big boy. He's not a small boy.
Yeah, and it's funny because Foothills played him as he was playing kind of as a bit of like a mid role, but he's a forward.
He's a big boy.
Maybe that's why he's a good midfielder, good in transition.
Holds that weight,
and look
holds
at this.
that spot.
We know this kid, Ty Hutchins.
Yep.
83 agility,
Which
ranked
is insane.
38th for jumping, ranked 74. So good to see a Calgary boy.
Shot
and where he's
velocity,
at.
65 miles per hour. Never
That's
about
crazy. No. So yeah, the Alberta ones are pretty good as well. And then the Valor, Alejandro Vasquez, Anatoly Levy, all Canadian boys looks like in Winnipeg except for
One.
The
Swedish goaltender?
Sviatek Artemenko. I think that's Ukrainian, if I'm not mistaken. I sure hope, because if not, sorry. We need to do an episode of Learn Our Flags.
It's a Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, we should do like how Sheldon.
Fun with flags with Sheldon Cooper. What do we got here?
Over to the Ham. Forge FC Hamilton. Nice to see some Spanish.
Boy to look
names,
out
I gotta
for.
say.
Daniel Joda. Yeah, watch
Daniel
out for that
Joda.
boy.
You just say that. Cause...
Yeah, because same skin color as I am.
Daryl Michael Lupo, Swiss.
Another Canadian boy.
Another Spanish boy. And then the Scottish Jordan McMillan.
Damn, he is a Scottish boy. Look at that face.
Yeah, he just had a couple pints here before that picture
all
was
right.
taken. That's good Scottish boy. A couple pints, get you ready for the pitch. Kyle Walton.
Yeah, lots of Canadian,
just
lots of
stuttered.
Canadian talent everywhere.
York this guy was ranked massive.
Sung Young Chen. This guy we talked about a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, and that people were excited to see him. But jumping, he was ranked 146 out of 1,400. Fitness in his city was number 1. Fitness ranking overall was number 3. He was ranked.
What was the
3.
agility in this city?
1, and number 2, ranked 2 for agility out of 1,400 participants.
Overall.
And he's 156 pounds, 5'8", shot velocity 69 miles per hour.
Yo, if you don't like kimchi, get on that bandwagon and start eating that stuff.
Yeah, because obviously it works well.
Yes.
156 pounds, he's got one of the biggest. And then, but he, awesome. Great to see him. Let's see who gets him because of, I mean, how do they decide now who gets these players? Now there's going to be a fight over them.
Of course
Because
it
he
will.
tried out in New York, but
Yeah, it'll be
who's
interesting.
gonna
It'll be
sign
an
him?
interesting first round pick here for everybody. Because there's a lot of good Canadian/international players that are ready to be signed. So,
look who made the top list.
oh, Estevez,
Emilio Estevez. Back again.
love it. Quebec, Quebec. What's going on in Quebec?
Another Japanese boy, Kodai Ida.
Canadian boy.
Care to take a crack at that? Mozambique. I don't know, man.
It's an African country.
And it's blue and it's got a star on it. And we suck
Red
at this.
flag going diagonal.
But Lukumbi Shindaye, ranked pretty high as well. Mohamed Karoma,
Looks like a Somalian flag.
or Ethiopian.
Yeah, one of the two.
Something in there. PDL shirt, so...
We might lose a
obviously
lot of
played-
viewers from this
I know,
episode.
because
They're
we
like,
don't-
what
we
are
learn our
these things?
flags. Wow. There's that Ukrainian, hopefully, again.
But there's a lot of international talent coming.
Vladislav Hoshovsky. Something like that.
We're just like butchering people's names right
Like
now. You realize
horrible,
that?
man. Eric Whelan, Irish. He looks like a good old Irish boy.
Oh, pronounce that one, please. Just do it.
Kwame Otara. But this guy, look at this. My height.
Almost 200 pounds, 191
Solid,
pounds, midfielder.
This
Top speed, 7.83 miles per second.
meters per second. Like miles per second? He'd be like the faster than any moving
Yeah,
car.
watch out, Usain Bolt. Somebody's coming after you.
Yeah. He's going to be
And
playing
this
in the
guy can play
CPL.
footy.
Yo, somebody should try and sign Usain Bolt to the CPL.
Just for fun.
Just cause.
Just for fun.
But yeah, I mean, that wraps up and talks about all the...
Yeah, there's a lot of Canadian stuff going on.
some good quality. It
So
looks like there's some
they're
quality.
doing the draft right now behind closed doors. Tomorrow morning they said it will be released.
So when we release this video, roughly around the same time, they're going to be doing that. So we may have to do a video closer to the end of the weekend to talk about. Because all the signing, or should we wait? Because the signings are going to start to come out now out of the CPL.
Correct.
There was already some like little hints dropped, like when they were talking to Tommy, with Kurt Larson was talking to him, and he said something about a like a speedy South American, and then a Canadian international. So we could just kind of guess at who the Canadian.
I know the
international
Canadian
is.
international is.
I think we've kind of met him a couple times.
We're gonna have to actually sit down with him. We'll see if we can get. Let's see if we can get in touch with any of these players this week and see what's going on. See if they want to hang out, go for a pint. If they just want to go mini golfing or something, I'm down.
Yeah, so we can have a chat with some of them. But good to see these boys are going to start. Now the ball's going to start rolling out.
Yeah.
But when the players' announcements are going to start coming out, and it's just going to like that snowball.
Everything's
So
just gonna go forward from here.
get on that snowball and hang on, because this is going to be crazy, intense. Our rivalries are going to be mad.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, you know what the best part is kind of like this is a historic moment for Canada soccer, because this is, I think, it's at a stage now where it has never been, and with the involvement of the right people, that this will be as big as it's ever gonna be.
Correct.
As a starting point.
Yeah, it's definitely going to branch
And there will
off
not be
depending
another
on how
starting
everything.
point.
Yeah, I don't think that there. It's a great starting point. I don't think there is an end point to this. So
No.
it's a good thing to see.
We're up. Just get on and enjoy. And if you're a soccer fan,
Come
that's
hang
something
out.
that we should do to get really in depth. Because I get asked a lot by especially Canadians that don't watch soccer. We're never really exposed to it. More recent now, everybody's kind of more exposed to it. But you see people, they're like, why are soccer fans so crazy? Like, why are they so like that passion is ridiculous. Like looting and rioting and like setting things on fire in stadiums.
I mean, if you look at it, I don't know. I don't want to go off the deep end here, but you look at it. You look at footy is big in like third world countries. Okay, there's not a lot to do. Here in Canada, of course, we're blessed with having 4 different seasons, depending how everything's going. But you know, we got winter sports, and we got the summer sports, we got spring sports, and everything falls into that category, from hockey to field hockey to soccer to football, etc., all the way down. So,
and then there's also, I mean, there's that not poverty factor, but there's that factor of the, you know, a lot of people in other, I know from like being from Chile, and people work, they leave their houses at 6 a.m. to go to work, and a lot of time they're not home till 7, 8 o'clock at night. Same as here, but there. You just work all week, and then on the weekend, what are you doing? Your escape from reality is going to the stadium, having a couple drinks.
But your sports team it's really ties in with the politics from different countries.
A lot of it does. Yeah, it plays
right?
a huge factor in it. Yeah, in some places, like look at in Scotland even, like getting away from even South America. In Scotland, the difference between the Catholics and the Protestants, the Rangers and the Celtic, obviously. And then you got stuff all over the place. That's massive rivalries. Argentina's rivalries are ridiculous. I've seen a couple games in Chile firsthand. One was bad where like they cleared out an entire hooligan section before the first half even ended, because they started ripping up whatever was left of the seats and setting them on fire and throwing them at the riot cops. And here me, like this little Canadian kid sitting there, and I was like, I couldn't even tell you what the score was.
Waving your white little white flag.
I'm like, let's just look at the games over here. It feels over here, and I was like, Dad, look. He's like, just watch the game. That happens all the time here. I'm like, no, but like these guys are crazy. Riot cops came in, beat the shit out of everybody, and then the hooligan section was empty for the rest of the game. I mean, yeah, that's just something you don't. The fans, a lot of the hooligans, they'll fight each other. They don't go and destroy property. They do stupid shit, don't get me wrong, but it's a different breed. It's a different caliber. The level of passion is just different.
You know, where I put the hooligans at, where I can match them with a Canadian sport, it would be Vancouver Canucks. Because when you win, you guys trash your place.
Yeah, and even when you win, you lose.
No, I guess they didn't even win, but they trashed the city anyways.
Yeah.
That's hooligans. Those are what the hooligans are in soccer.
Yeah, but not as they don't go out and like a lot of hooligans. A lot of time they're not going out and just
bash
destroying
windows
shit,
and
like because they're just
flip cars around, light them on fire. But you know they are up there.
They do it from time to time. They don't like I mean I guess it is because the Canucks they just never really win anything.
Well, Vancouver's just as bad as Edmonton.
Yeah, exactly. See, they don't riot in Edmonton. Like some chicks get hit in the face with fireworks and shopping carts when they go to the Stanley Cup Finals. That's all that happens.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, really, I mean, learn the soccer culture.
Yeah,
because we got to see that a little more. We got to draw that passion up. You now have another sport to frustrate you in Canada. So get involved. Go support your city.
That is very, very true.
But yeah, I really got into it. This one, this is long.
This is very long.
30-something minutes, 40 minutes almost.
Well, if you've watched this whole video from beginning to end, thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate you subscribing.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, please subscribe.
Yeah, thanks for the support, the continued support. And stay tuned because, this is happening and it's coming. It's all coming.
Well, there's a lot coming down the pipeline for us right now. And a lot of players, a lot of international players, a lot of everything coming through. So stay tuned for, I guess, a lot of shit.
On that note, thanks once again for tuning in.
Just swing on down, and stop. You know what I'm saying? So he could get on. Now this is what we doing. We playing the role of that sweet cherry, and we swinging down to pick you up.